What if I hate selling?
Well, you're probably doing it wrong.
Hey, welcome back to Envisioning Success. I am evidently Krusty the Clown, sometimes known as Laura DiBenedetto. And I'm joined with Julia Becker Collins, who's losing her shizzle over there because sometimes I'm funny. Apparently today's one of those days.
Yep.
I win. Yay.
Good job.
Today's episode is about sales, Q&A, real talk about closing more without being a creep.
For real.
Let's help you to not be a creep. Like last two episodes, we were talking about popular questions that we get. This one's going to be the same. I did set that up in episode 85. There would be a 4-episode arc where we're just answering popular questions that we get. Really excited to dive into this one because everybody's afraid to sell.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be a creep. It's also you're really afraid of rejection. Like, I know all this. I'm a human too. I get it. So we're going to blow the lid off this stuff. Ready, Julia?
Great. Let's do it.
Hey. All right. So what if I hate selling?
Well, you're probably doing it wrong. And, I mean, not to be that person, but to be that person. You're probably doing it wrong. You also probably have to work on your money mindset, like Laura always talks about. Mm-hmm. And you really need to be okay hearing the word no. People are terrified of rejection, and 75% of selling is hearing the word no. It's okay. It's not a reflection on who you are as a human being. You need to be able to separate them. Good sales, when done correctly, when done ethically, when done with the best intentions, is just helping people decide. And so that's how we think about it at Vision. We don't think about it as selling. We think about it as helping people advance their businesses. And if we're the right choice for you, that's great. And if we're not, that's also great. I want you to feel really warm and fuzzy when you sign that contract. And I'm just here as the facilitator. I'm not trying to sell you something that you don't want. If there are giant red flags, I will back out of the deal or I will call them out. I don't want people feeling pressured. You never want the situation to feel like a used car salesman. You want it to feel like the person's like, oh, not only did I just spend money on something that I know will help me, I trust the person I bought it from, and I know they'll be there for me if I need something else.
A good sale feels like relief.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I was doing this recently in a 2-hour sales training that I led. People buy to solve problems.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can make them feel like Atlas just took the world off his shoulders, they'll give you money.
Exactly. So my husband and I just spent a small fortune on having a landscaper come to our house and redo our whole yard. And you know what that felt like? Relief. Like I didn't have to do any of that on my weekends. And I don't have to make the decisions that I don't know if they're going to be correct because I don't know anything about plants or, my landscaping. And they are going to do it more efficiently, more effectively. And I can just remove myself from the situation. And now it looks amazing. So
send me photos. Can't wait to see it.
It's great. You know what? It's great is that I didn't have to do anything.
That's the favorite part, Julia. I am fully aware. I know you.
I know. It's great. I love it.
But
my favorite part of the whole thing.
Idea that, good sales is giving someone relief from something they don't have to deal with anymore. And I mentioned in the last episode, sometimes people will buy something. I'm picking on the company, not because it's the specific and correct and only example, but sometimes people will buy a Rolex or a similar luxury brand because of a feeling of inadequacy they really don't want to name and they don't want to admit to, and having the stuff to help them keep up with the Joneses or Kardashians, depending on who you like, makes them feel better about themselves. So people don't buy things for the reasons that you think they do. And the more that you can really understand that, the more you're going to not hate selling. You'll realize you're actually helping someone.
Right. It's like, do people buy drinks at Starbucks because they need coffee? Sure. Yes, they do. Do they also buy drinks at Starbucks because they feel like they need a little treat? That's also true. And that happens. So lean into both. Those are both really good reasons for somebody to buy from you.
Absolutely. Also, the convenience of not having to make it at home. Sometimes people don't want to do it. They just want it to be nice and done for them. People have
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of good reasons, and honestly, in the one-to-one sales process, the more you ask good questions, just to seek to understand why they want to do something with you or with anybody, and divorcing yourself mentally from the outcome, the more you're just going to help them, and the more it won't bother you. If you're just showing up as a helper, sales won't bother you.
And if you're really having to push to convince somebody of something, then it might not be a good fit. One of the things Laura said to me when I first started doing sales was the sign of a really good salesperson is they don't talk that much. You just ask some good questions and the other person talks. And you're listening and you're trying to help and you're getting clarity. And that's entirely true. I think about that all the time when I'm buying stuff. When I bought my car, I originally had a salesperson who just talked over me. And I was like, we're all set here. I'm done with you. I'm annoyed. I want the car, but I'm not buying it from you. And then I found somebody who just listened to me and was like, okay, well, here are the two options, and I like both of them. So I support whatever you choose.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Question 2 is, do I need a script? And I'll tell you my thoughts on this first, right out of the gate. No, and in fact, you should very much not want a script. What you should want instead is a structure of how a good sales conversation should go,
Mm-hmm.
um, and what that should look like. There should be some connection with the person to person, like actual bonding. There
Mm-hmm.
should be some expectation setting. There should be you seeking to understand, and then some clarity around what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, without leading a full-on class here, that's pretty much the high level of what you need. Following a script, that is not going to feel good for you or
It's
them.
not going to feel good for them either, the
Yeah,
person on the
no.
other end,
Hmm.
because it's obvious. You need bullet points. Here are the three things I need to make sure I cover. Or here are the three things I always forget that are important statistics. That's it. It should be a conversation.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh boy, this is a big one. I get this one quite a bit from people who are probably a little newer to business ownership
Mm-hmm.
or sales, and that's okay. Should I offer discounts to close deals? Um, I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I'll try not to make this too long. Ultimately, if you offer discounts, you are training people that the discounted price is all it's worth, and you are devaluing what you do. I'll give you a
Mm-hmm.
great example. Let's say Haagen-Dazs, which I think is some of the best ice cream commercially available. It's made really well. It's got eggs in it. It's just good, rich, smooth, high quality ice cream. Um, when it goes
Vanilla
on
bean.
sale,
Their vanilla
oh,
bean
vanilla bean,
is,
game over. Game
I
over.
know,
Julia, I know
I
you're
know.
not an ice cream person, but I'm sure even you would agree that that's,
No, the vanilla bean is, you can see the beans in it.
yeah, it's the bee's knees. It's so good. So, when it's sold at certain retailers for almost $10 for a tiny little pint, you're like, I'm not paying that, because you've been at Walmart where you can get it for $3.58 for a pint.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart has trained you to believe that it's only worth $3.58. So then when you're confronted with a choice of, when you're at a different store, do you want to pay for that? So I live in the South and we've got Publix here. When I go to Publix and they have BOGO deals and it's normally like, $7 a pint, but it's BOGO, that's 350. It's like, cool. It's actually better than Walmart. But to me, Haagen-Dazs, maybe that's their whole strategy, is they want people to believe that it's only worth $3.50, and maybe that's a big price strategy. But please understand, your customers will be trained that the discounted price is all it's worth. So Haagen-Dazs has done that. They're not stupid. I'm confident they did that on purpose. Um, so just know that going in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
our services at Vision, we do not discount them ever. It costs
Mm-hmm.
what it costs. That's it. Because we never want to train people to think, oh, wait for a sale. There is no sale. You're paying
Correct.
for expert support for something you can't do yourself, that gives you your time and your life back without the frustration. That's a
Correct.
premium service. It should not
Mm-hmm.
be discounted, so it isn't. So should you do that? I don't think so. Julia, what do you think?
I mean, I agree as per usual. So, like, my example is Old Navy. I like using that example because pretty much everybody knows about Old Navy. Old Navy on Black Friday every year, the entire store and online is 50% off. So, guess when I buy all my Old Navy purchases? When it's 50% off. Why would I pay full price? I'm always going to wait for that discount when I know that I can get 50% off all the prices rather than paying, the $20 for the shirt. I can pay $10 for the shirt. They have trained me to know that, just like Laura was talking about. So I'm going to buy it then. I'm never going to buy it full price. And maybe that is a strategy. And I'm sure part of that is a strategy because they really just want to be selling during the sales periods, etc. But that's kind of, the way I think about it. The other side of that is just because you're not going to offer a discount doesn't mean you can't do a contest or a raffle or work with an influencer or, give away a gift card for something, which is different than discounting.
Or give away a bonus incentive. Incentivizing is different than discounting. So let's say I'm trying to sell something that's $20,000. I'm never going to discount it, but I might say, hey, if you take action on this right now, I will give you an extra $2,000 worth of blah, blah on top of it as a bonus.
Right. Absolutely.
Especially if it's not something that I ever sell anywhere else. You can't devalue the thing that you never have available anywhere else. If you can only get it as a bonus for free, it doesn't matter if it has no value or tons of value. It's not available.
Right. It's, you want to make sure that you're not devaluing the product or service that you're selling.
Right. So. Absolutely. So, I hate this question so much. I'll take a swift crack at this one. I get the abadabbas. How do I handle? Let me think about it. My personal favorite way of dealing with let me think about it is to call bullshit. Just be like, okay, let me think about it is a nice way of saying no. So I guess we're done here. And that very polite confrontation is usually met with, no, I'm just not sure. About what? Well, the price is high. Then let's have that conversation. It smokes it out. And I don't receive, let me think about that. Unless the answer is, let me think about that for about 30 seconds. Give me a minute. Okay. I will sit here and shut up. Let you think about it. But like, if you're going to go away to think about it, it means you're just going away. I know that. You should know that. So just challenge it very politely. Diagnose if it's real or if it's just polite rejection. And usually it's just polite rejection because they don't know how to ask you about the thing that's troubling them until you give them permission and call it out.
Yes. I even do that in my personal life. I have a friend that hates to be committal. She's very non-committal because she's an intense people pleaser. And so when she says to me, I invite her to something and she'll be like, maybe, or let me think about it. I always say, that's code for I'm not coming. So obviously I'm not going to say,
yeah, that's true.
She does. Because I've given her permission to say no. And so it's okay. You're not going to offend me. I'm totally fine. If you don't want to come to the movies, I invited you. I have done my part. If I didn't want you there, I wouldn't have invited you, but I'm also okay if you don't show up.
Right.
So I do that all the time, which actually makes it easier to do it in business because it's such like a knee-jerk reaction. Obviously, I say it nicer when I'm in a business conversation. I don't tell them that they're an idiot. Like I tell my friend. But
no, we treat our friends like crap around here. You're an idiot. Just say no.
It's the New England in us.
Oh, it is. I had someone say to me recently, he's like, now that I know you're from Massachusetts, everything makes so much more sense now. I'm like, yes, we're very kind, but we're not very nice. We will curse you out while we help you change your tire, while Californians are often famous for being like, oh my God, I hope someone helps you. I gotta go. Bye.
It's 100% true. As somebody that used to live in California, that is very true. Yeah. Good times. I'm yes.
An asshole.
Yes, I do enjoy it here. But yeah, it's like Laura was saying, you need to dig into what are they actually trying to say, because what they're actually saying isn't correct. They're not going to think about it. Either it's like, oh, I need a minute, like Laura said, like give me 30 seconds to digest all the information you just presented to me. Or it's, I have to actually present this to somebody else that I didn't tell you I had to present it to, even though I told you I was the decision maker. Or we have a board meeting and we're going to have to present it to them, and that's in 3 months and I didn't tell you about that. Or I hate confrontation, so I'm just going to ghost you after this conversation.
It's usually the last one.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people don't feel safe to say no or to ask questions. And one of the most important things you can do is like go back to the very first point that we made. What if I hate selling? Well, if you get comfortable with realizing that you're there to help someone and you're really wanting to help them, you won't let them lie to themselves and you'll actually dig out some of their discomfort. I've been known to say, no is, or I'll think it over is just code for no. And that's okay. I want to make sure that you have full agency right now so you feel like you can say no. Alternatively, if it's not no and you're just not sure and something's not sitting right with you, I want you to know that we can talk about that right now. And I'm not going to push you to do something that isn't right for you. What's really bugging you? And then 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm just not really, all that confrontational. Okay, well, I am. So what is it? What's bugging you? And then, well, this is bugging me. Great. Can we talk about it? Yeah, actually, I'd really love that. Awesome. Okay. And sometimes it's like, great, this is not for you. Or, well, seems like it could be now that we've actually blown up that bomb. What do you think?
I mean, hard agree. Number 5 is, and you and I are going to love this one. What is the number one sales mistake? And we talked about this earlier, talking too much and listening too little. I used the example of the used car salesman who talked at me, which is great. I could talk about that for 30 minutes and how he talked at me, and then also tried to talk to my husband about the car that I was buying. Can imagine how that went over.
Like a lead balloon.
Like a lead balloon, like me walking out of the dealership. But really, it's as a good salesperson, you're listening. You're asking clarifying questions. You're saying, so what I'm hearing from you is this. Can you please tell me if that's correct? You're really digging the answers out. One of the best things to hear as a salesperson is when the prospective client goes, nobody else has ever asked me that. And I get that all the time. Or, wow, that's such a smart question. I never thought about it that way. They realize that you know what you're doing because you're pulling apart what they're saying to you. Your job is to listen. And it's also not to just wait till you could talk, which a lot of people do. That's why a script is terrible. It's more just like you're creating the structure for the conversation, have them talk first, you get clarity. You then, after all of that, dive in with, is it okay if I kind of tell you a little bit more about how we do that? And you always want to ask permission because it makes them feel like they have control over the conversation. So really, it's a conversation. Yeah. So it's, or I would, the other part of it that I would also add is not talking about money would be another big mistake.
Yeah, just talk about it, man. Yeah. I think so much. I mean, there's a lot of sales mistakes, but this question is about what is the number one sales mistake. I agree very much with the talking too much. I learned years ago in sales training that most salespeople will ask an average of 2.3 questions. That's not enough. A good salesperson will typically ask, between like 12 and 20 because they really want to seek to understand versus seek to sell. I mean, if you get nothing else out of this episode, seek to understand versus seek to sell. Listening is really important. Julia, you just nailed it. People listen to find out what to respond to. They don't listen to understand. If you really truly listen to somebody, you can actually serve them and you can help them. And honestly, people who don't sell very well and they don't sell to serve and they only listen to respond and all that stuff, and they just listen and find their little thing because they're just trying to present. These are the people who give sales a bad name, and that's why a lot of people hate sales because they're like, I don't want to do that. Everybody's been the recipient of bad sales. I know I have. You have, obviously, with the car dude.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, I mean, my favorite is when people try to come to the house to talk to me about work that needs to be done around the house, and they completely ignore me and only speak to my husband. It's like, okay.
It's the best.
That sucks for you, but okay.
Right.
Seek to understand and ask better questions like, who's the person I should be speaking with right now? Like, how can I serve you? Well,
When we were
we'll tell
buying our
you. Yeah.
house, when we were buying our house, we were interviewing real estate agents, and a friend of the family referred us to somebody, and we had a meeting with him, and he would only talk to my husband. I was sitting right there, and my husband point blank told the guy, "You need to be talking to her. She makes all the decisions. I'm just here to write the check. Like, I'm not your client. She is." And he would still only talk to him. And so we left that meeting and never went back. And we found somebody who primarily spoke to me and knew my husband was along for the ride, but understood that I was the decision maker.
Yeah, that's some old school sexism for you. So that's
Some
not
good
the number
times.
one sales mistake. Thankfully, that's going away, but it does still exist. So make sure that you know who's actually buying from you. It might be Mr., it might be Mrs., might be somebody else, might be a board. You don't know, but get clear on who is actually going to say yes to you, and don't take no from someone who does not have authority to say yes.
Good times.
All right, next episode, we're going to be talking about scaling and how it's not sexy, but what it is instead. Don't miss that one. You would be silly. See ya.